Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhara Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajajana Yashodanandana Brajajana Yashodanandana Brajajana Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Nitai Jai Parivrajatari Astota Sata Sistema Divine Grace ISKCON Brahmachari Shila Abhacharana Vena Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajatari Astota Sata Sistema Divine Grace Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vena Ki Jai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Si Kahau Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Prasad Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Girikavadam Ki Jai Savindhavan Dham Ki Jai Mathura Dham Ki Jai Shinodi Mayapadam Ki Jai Jagannath Dham Ki Jai Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Hari. Our glory is to the summer devotees, our glory is to the summer devotees, our glory is to the summer devotees, our glory is to Siddha Gaur and Gaur. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya. Narayanam Namaskritya. Naram Cheva Narottanam. Naram Cheva Narottanam. Devim Saraswati Vyacham. Tato Jaya Mudire. Nasvataye Svabhadrisu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Sloke. Bhakti Bhavaiti Naisiki. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 29, Text 34. Naikantata pratikara Karmanam karma kevalam Dvayam ya vidyopasritam Swapne swapna ivanaga Nikantanta pratikara Karmanam karma kevalam Dvayam ya vidyo pasritam Swapne swapna ivanaga Nikantanta pratikara Karmanam karma kevalam Dvayam ya vidya pasitam Swapne swapna ivanaga
Naikantata pratikara Karmanam karma kevalam Jayang yavityopasritam Svapne svapna ivanaga
Naikantata pratikara Karmanam karma kevalam Dvayam yavidyopasritam Swapne swapna ivanaga
Naikantata pratikara Karmana karma kevalam Dvayam hi avidyopasritam Swapne swapna ivanaga
What is this?
Naikantata pratikara Karmanam karma kevalam Vayam hi vidyopashritam Swapne swapna ivanaga
Any more Mataji's?
Naikantata pratikara Karmanam karma kevalam Vayam hi avidyopashritam Swapne swapna ivanaga
So, word for word translation and purport by Divine Grace is confirmed Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Na, never. Ekanta taha, ultimately. Pratikaraha, contraction. Karmanam, of different activities. Karma, another activity. Kevalam, only. Dvayam, both. He, because. Avidya, due to illusion. Upasritam, accepted. Swapne, in a dream. Swapnaha, a dream. You are like. Anaga, oh you who are free from sinful activities.
O you who are free from sinful activities.
Translation. Now to continue. O you who are free from all sinful activity. No one can counteract the effects of fruitive activity simply by manufacturing a different activity devoid of Krishna consciousness. All such activity is due to our ignorance. When we have a troublesome dream, we cannot relieve it with a troublesome hallucination. One can counteract a dream only by awaking. Similarly, our material existence is due to our ignorance and illusion. Unless we awaken to Krishna consciousness, we cannot be relieved of such dreams. For the ultimate solution to all solutions, we must awaken to Krishna consciousness. Please kindly respond for repeat. Now I continue. O you who are free from all sinful activity. No one can counteract the effects of fruitive activity simply by manufacturing a different activity devoid of Krishna consciousness. All such activity is due to our ignorance. When we have a troublesome dream, we cannot relieve it with a troublesome hallucination. One can counteract a dream only by awaking. Similarly, our material existence is due to our ignorance and illusion. Unless we awaken to Krishna consciousness, we cannot be relieved from such dreams. For the ultimate solution to all problems, we must awaken to Krishna consciousness. Purport. There are two kinds of activity, or there are two kinds of fruitive activity. We can place the burden on our head, or we can place it on the shoulder. Actually, keeping the burden on either place is the same. The transfer, however, is taking place under the name of counteraction. In this connection, Prahlad Maharaj said that fools and rascals in the material world plan so gorgeously for bodily comfort without knowing that such arrangements, even if successful, are only Maya. People are working hard day and night for the illusory happiness of the body. This is not the way to achieve happiness. One has to get out from this material entanglement and return home back to God. That is real happiness. The Vedas therefore enjoin, quote, don't remain in the darkness of this material world, go in the light of the spiritual world, unquote. To counteract the distress of this material body, one has to take on another distress condition. Both situations are only illusion. There is no gain in taking on one trouble to counteract another trouble. The conclusion is that one cannot be perpetually happy as long as one exists in this material world. The only remedy is to get out of this material world altogether and return home, back to God. I'm again into my eyes. I'm going to pronounce my kaya, soul, meditation, testimony, see God within my heart. So Chaitanya Namavistam, Sthapitam, Yenabhutale, Swayam Rupam Kadana, Dadatasa, Padantikam. Bali Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Chanam Sabhodita, Kududaya Paspavantu, Chita Chantunam. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Sadi Gaura Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Anchakapataribhacha, Kripasamudaya, So thank you very much for coming to participate in Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam class, and the very Bhagavatam says, Nasa Payesu Abadisu Nitya Bhagavata Seva. We have all these contaminations right from birth. We have all these layers of contamination, illusory thought patterns, horrible samskaras we are born with. But then the Bhagavatam enjoins that Nasta Prayesu Abadis, all of these bad things, bad layers on the heart, on the mirror of the heart. I mean, it's like you have a mirror is dusty. You can't really see your image in the mirror. If it's dusty, you need to clean it. The Bhagavatam, discussing the Bhagavatam, hearing the Bhagavatam, this is the sure remedy to mitigate, to cleanse the dusty mirror of our hearts. And by discussing the Bhagavatam, attending the Bhagavatam classes, reading the Bhagavatam, because the Bhagavatam is the book Bhagavat. That's the personality of Bhagavat, that's the book Bhagavat. This Bhagavatam is worshipped like the deity. Of course, it's the deity, it's a literal personification of the deity. So, because the words of Krishna and Krishna, they are not different, because Krishna is absolute. He can exchange the functionalities of his limbs. We use our eyes to see, but Krishna can use his eyes to eat. And so Krishna uses his eyes to eat, and then somebody says, oh, the burger is still there. Has he eaten? Yes, he has eaten. Because his limbs, the functions of the limbs are interchangeable. That makes him absolute. So, in this very Prabhupada is mentioned, see all of our problems. We have different type of problems, right? Kleshas. What are the different types of kleshas? Yes, tell us.
Adi-daivic, adi-bautic, and adi-atmic.
Yeah. Suppose I don't understand Sanskrit. Can you make it in?
Misery based on our mind, senses, and body. Misery out of natural resources of the material world in general, and misery from the higher sources or demigods.
Yeah, so everyone is experiencing these miseries. Even the President of the United States is experiencing these miseries. The Director for International Monetary Fund is experiencing these miseries. Everyone in this universe has experienced these miseries. But people don't seem to understand the way to get out from this misery. So we generate different type of technological strategies to counteract the miseries. But, we can create technology, we can use technology to counteract the miseries. You see, the technology, they're very, very advanced. We can fly in the air. We can stay in the bed of the sea for months. We can, take this position, the situation of a fish to stay in the water for many months. This is technology. But what technology has not bestowed on us is how to counteract, how to deal with the miseries of material existence. Means it's caused by it. See, when I don't know what the situation here, but sometimes in America it really used to snow heavily. I remember first time I came to America for a conference. So I want to meet my Guru Maharaj. And you know the first thing they told me, welcome to the hellish planet. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, because when during the winter, I remember one time I wanted to go to a conference at Alaska, and it was the winter, and the temple commander, vice president, he's a retired nuclear chemistry professor, and so he told me, Vasudev, if you want to leave, please don't go to this conference. This is a very bad period for Alaska. So, yeah, we adjust ourselves. We are highly adjustable to the sufferings of material existence. The sufferings of material existence. But in most cases, we don't seem to investigate, to make inquiries about how can I end these sufferings once and for all? How can I end this suffering once and for all? Every day we're seeing people dying. That people don't care how to ask. But how can I deal with this situation? How can I live forever? No, we don't care. People don't care. So because we have experienced the other people suffering, and so we just think it's normal to suffer. But this is due to the fact that we have been conditioned. So we don't seem to take cognizance of the fact that there is an ultimate solution to these problems. So in the purport here, Prabhupada is mentioned the only solution to all of our problems, all of our challenges, whether it is problems that are caused by the mind and our senses. And mind and our senses, they are like, endogenous enemies. Enemies living within you. How do you deal with that? If the enemy is trying to evade from another place, you can prepare yourself and wage war against the enemy. But the enemy is right within you. How do you deal with it? So our problems are complicated because the very problems we try to deal with are in most cases caused by situations that are completely beyond our control. Beyond our control. So if something is beyond our control, do we just say, well, I just align with it because it's completely beyond my control? But yet, there is a strategy that we can also adopt, and that strategy is surrendering unto Krishna, who takes care of situations and help us to burn all of these sinful reactions. Lord Krishna mentioned, he gave promise in the Bhagavad Gita. We may be afraid that because we be cheated for so many lifetimes. So if someone says something, we may not accept. The doubt must be there. But that doubt has to be a reasonable doubt. There's no problem in doubting, but to doubt for the sake of doubting is completely meaningless. So, Krishna is giving us an option, and the conditioned soul, the intelligent conditioned soul takes to that option, the option of serving Lord Krishna, becoming purified, and to become extricated from all of these entanglements, never to come back to this prison of material existence. And so humanity is passing through this real challenge of life. But the challenge of existence is because of our ignorance. And even we have the understanding that yes, we have to take to devotional service, we have to serve Krishna so that we become purified and never to come back to this material world again. Sometimes, again, we have all of these oppositions. And so, our situation is pathetic. We may see something has happened to somebody, and still it's so difficult for the conditioned soul to learn from it. Pashyana pina pashyati, even after seeing, after hearing. So, we have a problem. It's a serious problem. And that problem, only Krishna can help us. So, for someone who's in devotional service, that problem could easily be mitigated. It won't take to the devotional life. Because according to Prahlad, Prabhupada made a reference to Prahlad in the purport that, Prahlad basically calls people in this material world. It may be a little bit harsh, but sometimes the harsh truth has to be told. He said, fools and rascals, they make all types of arrangements, gorgeous arrangements, as if they will be here eternally. As if these gorgeous arrangements will prevent them from being caught up with their karmic waves, with their karmic reactions. So, everyone in this world is passing through these catastrophic changes, terrible changes, that sometimes it could be so painful, and we feel bad about it. But an intelligent person makes a resolve. Intelligent person becomes resolute in their effort, in their determination to take to Krishna consciousness. Yet there might be challenges even in Krishna consciousness. But just like if you're on an airplane, sometimes it cruises through turbulence areas. And so the pilot puts on the sign for calling seatbelts. So when a plane is cruising through a turbulent area, the passengers don't jump off because, it's so turbulent. No, that's not the recommendation. They buckle their seatbelts. So we are in the proper place, but we'll pass through, all of us will pass through some turbulent situations. I remember when I just joined, so I have one of these senior devotees, my friend. So I think I was discussing some things with him, and I used to be like putting my questions in a challenging way about suffering. Why devotees have to suffer and all those things. And he quietly told me, Vasudeva, see, you should pray for your problems to come now. Because whether they come now or not, you will have problems. Everybody will face some challenges. Yeah, I've seen that even in my own life. I remember some of the challenges I faced even as an administrator in ISKCON. If I was not die-hearted, I could just carry my bag one day and then run away. Oh yeah. Imagine in the dead of night, you have security agents, police, they come to, get you arrested on behalf for the society. There's some allegations against the society, and see, I came from a background where I know how horrible it is to get involved in any case, whether civil or criminal, to get involved with police, judge, because Somebody may even do the wrong thing and he's going to be freed in the court because there is some contradiction in evidence that is being proffered. So I hated it. I hated anything that has to do with the police. But you know what? When I became a temple president, it's all of these police problems that always came up. So I thought, well, these are the things I hate most in my life, and this is what I'm seeing. I came here to do the Bhakti Yoga, but what I'm seeing is a little bit different. So yeah, we will face some challenges. But if we take shelter of Krishna, take shelter of Prabhupada, take shelter of our spiritual masters, then we can have a sense of direction on how to properly channel our energies to become fully engaged in Krishna consciousness and allow Krishna to be the captain of our boat. When you're in a boat, you don't really do anything. It's the captain who does the work. So Krishna consciousness is also like someone who is in a boat. The spiritual master, is the captain. He takes us without any difficulties. The problem is, how well are we aligned with our spiritual master? So it's important that the process is real, it's very legitimate, it's very practical. But the procedural methodologies are there, and sometimes the methodologies, if you are conducting a research and you neglect any aspects of the methodology, you're bound to get a wrong result. Wrong result. And so our system is full of, sometimes people say, oh, there are too many rules. There are too many rules. I met one lady in Calcutta, in temple where I used to stay when I go to Calcutta. And this lady, she was married to one guy, one handsome, beautiful, tall guy, like from France. This lady, she's also very beautiful. She's from Calcutta. So when the devotees came to call me to go and speak to this guest, so I just thought, but come on, we are also preachers. You have guests. Why don't you speak with them? But I thought, well, they want me to talk, so let me go. So when I spoke with this couple, the lady told me, initially she wanted to take initiation from ISKCON. She said she's initiated by some guru in their community. And that initiation, after taking initiation, I said, what are the norms? What is your commitment to your guru and to your system? She is meat, everything else. But she says she's initiated. I said, why? See, you're from Calcutta. This is Bengal, is the land of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Don't you think that you have a commitment just to be born on this land? She said, I wanted to take initiation from ISKCON, but the rules are too much. Yeah, so sometimes people think that our rules are too much, but we didn't make the rules. If you want to go to college, you have to sit for some tests. You have to qualify. Yeah. So Krishna consciousness is very easy, but it's also challenging because the mind creates so much of trouble. Our senses create so much of trouble. And this whole incarceration, Krishna can release us from these sufferings of having to take the body from one place to the other and transfer. Papa calls it transferer. He said it's all the same. This transfer of the body from one part of the body, from the head to the shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder. the body is still bearing the same problem. So let's take advantage of what Prabhupada has given us and expedite our process of getting out from these problems. But in this material world, we have a material body. Material body is concomitant to encounters of problems. If you're in a prison, you don't have any independence. You're bound to suffer. So let's take advantage of what Prabhupada has given to us. It's a wonderful legacy Prabhupada left behind, and we can become also liberated souls in this very lifetime. Not next life. In this very lifetime. Yeah. All right. Any comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you. Actually, I can ask a question which is in my mind for a long time, so I'm very hopeful you can shed some light.
Okay.
We spoke about the threefold miseries, and I have all the miseries, and also in your lecture you focus on the senses of the mind. So if I speak about Adibodhika, Adidevika, still I'm experiencing with my mind, my senses. But then the Vedas, they make a distinction, they say the threefold miseries. And we also hear about how Prahlad says, actually, and this could give us the idea that there is actually an enemy, the Adidevika, the Adibodhika, but Prahlad Maharaj says, actually there's only one enemy, my mind. So why is this threefold miseries so emphasized when actually ultimately it's just my adhyatmika, my conditioned mind and sense?
It's a nice point. The threefold miseries is a philosophical thesis, and in a thesis you have the substance, the conclusion. You have a thesis, you're making either a master's degree thesis or a PhD dissertation. The essence of it is the result. What is it? What is the conclusion of your research? So Prabhupada is saying, this is the conclusion. Yes, all these things are there. Boy, this is the conclusion. Yeah. The other things you're talking about is part of the dissertation. It gives it a volume. People get impression. Wow, that's a real research that was conducted here. But what is the conclusion? That is the essence. So, the mind is our greatest enemy in our conditioned state. Mind and the senses. See, it so happens that every aspect of our teaching has a scientific connotation. This very principle of mind and senses, in other words, self-control, is a major theory in criminology. It's called the general theory of crime. The general theory of crime stipulates that all crimes and antisocial behavior is due to low self-control, which boils down to Vasha Vegam, Manasa Kroda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Mudara Pasta Vegam, Etam Vegam, Yo Vishta Hisadira, Sarva Abhima, Pritivim Sasashit. See, my study of management science has made me to appreciate Krishna consciousness more, because most of the theories in management science, they are fundamentally Krishna consciousness principles. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you another example. Lord Chaitanya inaugurated the Sankirtan movement. In other words, for people to come together to chant Krishna's names. Why? Why did he not inaugurate a system where individual people can stay, lock up themselves in their rooms and chant Krishna's name? He said, no, come together. Why? This is explained in the theory of synergy. Synergic theory implies that when people come together to perform an act, the result is always greater than the individual results put together. say, we come to do a particular project, our collective effort is going to yield a greater result compared to individually doing same thing individually, getting the results of each and every individual and bringing them together. It will be less than when we come together to do that. And that is why teamship is so profound in organizational development. Yeah, that's how it works. Any other comments? Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. I think that was the perfect answer. I couldn't imagine that you give this kind of answer. Thank you. I have another question regarding the shifting of the weight. So Bhagavatam is saying, Prabhupada is saying that this shifting of the weight is not going to solve the problem, but maybe it's similar to what we heard yesterday, the question that came yesterday, but still we feel relief. I mean, if I have to carry that load, I'm having it on the head, and I have to, of course I could drop it, but maybe I cannot drop it for some reason, then it will give me relief if I actually transfer to the shoulder. So
yeah, I agree with you. It gives you some apparent relief, but the relief is not a relief from the pain of the body. It gives a relief on the head, and that pain is transferred to the shoulder. I mean, it's like, I'll give you an example. There are some diseases, okay? Disease, it comes, the pain, the virus moves around in your body. So it pains in your knee. The next 1 hour, it moves to your back. Your knee is relieved. Your knee is relieved. But now it's on your back.
But sorry, Maharaj. in practical life, let's say I have a weight. I put it on my head, and initially I will not feel much.
Mm-hmm.
Then after some time it will hurt.
Yeah.
So then when the pain becomes on back, then I change, and then again for some time I can carry it nicely, and then it becomes painful again. So there is also some relief. It's a good thing, no?
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you, but the burden is still on the body. On the body. The head is just part of the body. The shoulder is just part of the body. But when you put it at your back, it's just part of the body. The body is still bearing the weight of the problem. That is what Prabhupada meant. That yes, you get some relief from the head, but then you put it on the shoulder. After some time, you're still feeling hot on the shoulder. You want to transfer it to another place. The pain is just being transferred from one part of the body to the other. You understand? It's just the pain is being transferred. Just like I gave the example of some pains in the knee, and then it leaves, knees relief, it goes to your back. Some nervous, neurological problems are also like that. And it pains you here, and then it leaves that place, it comes to pain you in another place. You feel relief from that place, but then the pain is really taunting in another part of your body. So it's the same body you have, and you're going to feel the pain. It might be relief from one part, but then you're feeling the pain in another part. That body will still feel the pain. In fact, that body is still feeling the pain. That's what Prabhupada meant. The body is not free from the pain. It just transfers from one part of the body to another. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm. And then, so can we then conclude that, making these adjustments will not solve the problem, but sometimes we have to make adjustments in order to accommodate our...
Yeah, we make adjustments like this transfer of the body. Yeah, we don't say don't make the adjustment, But the adjustments don't really solve the problem. The ultimate, don't give us ultimate solution to the problem. So Prabhupada is saying, ultimate solution is to get out from the prison. To get out from the prison. Adjustment, there's no problem. But it does not give ultimate solution to the problem. Like you put the body on the head, you remove it, put it on the shoulder, the head gets relieved. It gets relieved. Instantly it gets relieved. But then, with just a few moments later, you start feeling that same pain on the shoulder. So adjustment, it does play some role. It plays some role. It gives you some temporary relief. One part of the body. Yes, the pain is from another part of the body, but it does give some relief from one part of the body. But then, why have to play around, transferring the burden from one part of the body to the other? Why don't you just, solve this problem once and for all? We should get rid of the problem once and for all. That's the emphasis Prabhupada is giving. And Nada is not due to Nada's instructions. He said we can't really become free from the problems devoid of Krishna consciousness. So Nada emphasized why we need to cultivate bhakti. We get free from all of these problems. Apart from maintaining Krishna prema, we get free. Even materially, we get free from these problems. Yep. What's the comment?
I was just thinking that I try to have the practical example. If I take a weight, and let's say I take something and I have to bring it from here to there, and I put it on my head, and on the way I realize it's painful, so I shift it. So what I conclude from taking this example, it would be foolish to then, okay, now it's here, I don't feel pain, and let me just, space out and do something else. No, I should remember, okay, but let's bring the weight, the thing, as soon as possible there, so I can actually finally drop it. But sometimes we have to make the adjustment. It's just that not to lose the focus.
I agree with you. But the ultimate solution is that we should keep the burden down. We should put the burden down. We should not just transfer the burden from one place to the other. We should put the burden down. That's what Nana is saying. And the process of putting that burden down is to take to Krishna consciousness. Does that make sense? Right. I think it's time now. You want to ask a question? Yes.
I wanted to share something, and I also had a question.
Okay.
So, because today you mentioned about this aspect of the boat.
Of what?
Of the boat. How this practice of bhakti is like a boat, and we have to stay in it. And this morning I was listening to a lecture of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and he described...
Are you a disciple of Bhakti Charu Maharaj? Okay.
And he described a very nice analogy which made me feel very hopeful, and I thought it might be nice to share it. That when the coconut is on the tree, and as soon as it starts, it separates from the tree, the shell and the inside, they begin to separate. So the very fact that sometimes we may feel that we are not getting purified, but the very fact that we have started the process of bhakti, that separation of the shell and the inside is happening. So I found that very...
sure.
Yeah, so we have to just stay in it. That was the point. So
right.
I found that quite resonating with what you said, just stay in the boat.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
And my question was that, because yesterday you were speaking about this very, to develop this strong will to overcome the weakness of the heart, and I was introspecting on this aspect a little bit. And then I analyzed a little bit of my personality, and I was thinking of how as persons who have so many layers of conditioning, we have certain tendencies, and also certain way of doing things, certain unnecessary material desires also. But at the same time, we know that simplicity is very important in Krishna consciousness. And then I was thinking that, like you said, this is the lifetime where we have to become Krishna conscious and go back to Godhead. And then when I study myself and I know that the simplicity is not there, and at the same time I can feel I'm not able to rid myself of the material conditioning that I have. So how should I then lean more towards simplicity and make progress?
Yeah. This is very intriguing, very stimulating question. Because, you see, the first thing that any individual could do is to make self-analysis. If you engage in self-analysis, self-diagnosis, and you're able to figure out your problem, your challenge, one major problem has already been solved. Now, if you don't know the problem that you have, that is really terrible. So, here you are, you make some analysis, diagnosis, and you feel, this, I need to adjust here, I need improvement in this area. This is very, very important for everyone. So, you're giving yourself self-feedback. And so, what you do is to put more effort in the area that you feel you're weak, that you feel there's a need for improvement, so that you can accelerate in that area. And essentially, talking about, is it sometimes we misconstrue the very concept of material desire. Sometimes we even feel that devotee should not do anything. I met one young devotee, and he was telling me about what he felt about Krishna consciousness when he encountered Krishna consciousness. He was in college, one of the toppest students in his class, 100 level, first year in college. And so he became so much attracted to Krishna consciousness, he dropped his studies. He dropped his studies and moved into the temple. And so, but right now he's not finding it easy. I'll tell you why. He has a desire to go to do college preaching, and the devotee in charge of that area, he said, no, you don't have a degree, you cannot go there. He said the students would like to know your background. Who are you? And if you don't have skills, they will feel that, oh, these people, they're just dropouts. We can't listen to them, They don't have any skills. So the person in charge of that department, college preaching department, he said, Prabhu, no. I know you have a desire to preach to students, but this is our policy. You cannot go there. Do some other service. So here is a typical case where someone feels what he was doing was a material desire. He was still schooling. This Krishna said, Sabadama Paritajan, give up everything and surrender unto me. Misconstruement, misinterpretation of Krishna's statements. So he left his studies. As a young man, okay, if people meet me, people come to me, or they want me to be their guru, first thing I ask them, their boys, I ask them, yes, what do you want to be in the future in your life? And I do this a lot, okay? I remember the last time in New York, one boy approached me. It's a brahmachari temple. At the Bhakti Center, yeah. So he approached me, he wants me to be his guru. I said, no, I don't have a problem with that, but what do you want to be in the future in this movement? You want to become a sannyasi, or you want to develop a family? He said he would like to develop a family. I said, good. I said, what is your highest level of education? What skills do you have? He said he dropped out from college. I said, okay, you want to develop a family, you need to have some skills, otherwise how are you going to take care of your wife and the children that you're going to have? So I suggest to you, leave that place. Go back to school, go finish your studies, or you can discuss with your temple management if they want to allow, if they will allow you to finish the program part-time, you can do it. Maybe you have a desire to develop a family, You cannot go and beg on the street. You need skills. So I told him this. So he was thinking finishing the college degree is a material desire, but he has a plan to develop a family in the future. How are you going to develop a family in the future without skills? So, sometimes we miscue. See, based on my preaching, my Guru Maharaj told me, go and preach to professors. At that time, I was not even having a master's degree. He told me, go and preach to the professors. How am I going to do that? How do I go to preach to professors? People who have PhDs, and I don't even have a master's degree. But his instruction came along with empowerment. I started the program. I was going to conferences. I was individually doing research and presenting at academic conferences. And in fact, it was so progressive. In 3 years, I had my first 25 publications. So he said, what? Come on, go and get a PhD. Yeah, so we have to liaise with our spiritual master to know what is best for us. If independently I was on my own, see, I have a father who was in school, was an educator, and from my high school days, my father used to write me, I wanted to go get a PhD. I didn't know what the guy was talking about. I didn't know about what he was talking about because I was just a high school student. So when I left and became a devotee, I thought, oh, I'm relieved from this man's trouble, you know. But in devotional service again, my services brought those things again back to me. Guru Maharaj gave me instruction. Because you have excelled in this area of preaching, you have done more than even what the PhDs are, but you need to have the paperwork so that they don't discriminate against you in the future. So ordinarily speaking, as a brahmachari, I would think, come on, this is material desire. But Guru, he sees your skills, your inclinations, your potentials, and engages you accordingly. A real, authentic Guru is a perfect talent manager. We have what we call talent management in the field of management science. The talent manager engages people according to their potentials, according to their inclinations. So if you have some potentials, your mentor, your Siksha or Diksha Guru should be able to, analyze situations and, advise you accordingly. So that people don't start thinking, oh, this is material desire, or this is not material desire, or I just have to sit back and not do anything, or something like that. So aligning yourself with the instructions of your Siksha Guru or your Diksha Guru is so important. I met one lady in London. So she's in aquarium science. It's a very difficult area. But, she left, became married, she got 3 kids. And now, she's not been chanting for a long time. Or chanting maybe 10 rounds or 8 rounds or so. So we met and I told her, look, you're thinking that you don't have the time. But if you analyze how you use your 24 hours, you'll find that you have a chunk of time that you cannot account for. I didn't tell her to go back to chant 16 rounds. No. We just spoke and I just gave her ideas about where the gap in her life. Having children were already 4 years, 6 years, 8 years. Come on. You can't say your children are inhibiting you from practicing Krishna consciousness. So sometimes we need some proper guidance so that our mind don't deceive us. That, this is not required, or this is what I need to do. We need some guidance. The guidance helps to save a lot. Because when you do have guidance, especially for someone whose spiritual master is on the planet, you allow the spiritual master, and you get directives on how to channel your energies, because the spiritual master is supposed to be a perfect talent manager. Prabhupada, we see that in Prabhupada's life. When Sadhuputta, one of our scientists, late scientists, when he joined the movement, so he was in Atlanta, Georgia, in America, at the temple. So Prabhupada went to that temple, and he asked the president, "This scientist, is he here?" President said, "Yes." What is his engagement here? He said, "We engage him to wash dishes." And Prabhupada shouted back. He said, "All that you know is engage people to wash dishes? This person is a scientist. Send him to back to Swarup Damodara Swami." So, washing dishes for the president, this is a perfect service for this guy. It will make him to be humble. Yeah, he's a scientist, but this service will make him to be humble. The perfect talent manager sees that completely different from high productivity, or is counterproductive to high performance and productivity, organizational productivity. So yeah, we may have a perception of our thoughts and ideas, but it might not be the perfect perception, perfect conclusion. We may not have a perfect conclusion. Therefore, we need some guidance. Because like what you're saying about, material desires. If I ask you to tell me what you mean by your thoughts, and sometimes it is something that is going to be very useful in your Krishna consciousness, but you're seeing it as an anatta. So it was in amazing ways. But if you have something that you feel is counterproductive to your spiritual development, like I mentioned also yesterday, come before Prabhupada and pray to Prabhupada to help you overcome that problem. It might look for us like a motive, but that is Prabhupada himself there. When I was younger at Brahmachari in New Jersey, they have a proper muti and Bhaktisiddhanta muti on the altar, small ones. I had a surgery, retina surgery, and then I was not going to the altar for that period. So one time, I chanted like all through the night. I was feeling, I'm going to go to this surgery. I may lose my eye. I mean, just have only one eye afterwards. So I didn't sleep the whole night. I was chanting. But I was chanting for, protection from Prabhupada. But you know what happened? In the night, I was sleeping and Prabhupada came to me in the dream. That muti on the altar, that small muti, he came to me in a dream. And then he took the form of Prabhupada, real adult form of Prabhupada. And you know what he said? Talking about mutis, when we have mutis in our temple and we don't take care of them. He said, you see, they just put me on that altar there and they're not taking care of me. Then I woke up from the dream. So I asked, the following morning I asked the pujaris, the chief pujari, what type of service you render to Prabhupada's muti on the altar? Nothing. So I said, all right, I will be beating Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta every day. And whenever I leave this temple, that service should continue. I didn't tell them what I experienced. So yeah, Papa, it looks for us it looks like it's just a motive, but no, he's there. We should come, we should form the habit, pray to Prabhupada, to get us relief from doubts that we may have about ourselves. So yeah, if we perceive that we are having some material desire, we should pray to Prabhupada. We should pray to our spiritual master. We should pray to Lord Chaitanya and Prabhupada, Lord Nityananda, pray to Jagannath, Baladeva, Subhadra. See, these facilities, these personalities are there to help us to grow. We cannot by our own effort, relieve ourselves from our challenges. Does it make sense? All right, we can stop here. What do you think?
Stones Bhakti Vasudev Maharaj Ki Jai.
Does she stay in this? What's she? I don't know. It's I didn't see this. She was in the morning class. No. I think she was in the morning class. Oh no, she was cooking. This was Thursday. They have university programs, so she's always happy. During that moment.
So what time is this arrive?
We arrive at 5.
What time is the program?
What is the service tomorrow? Okay. I don't want to take the service on Do they tomorrow? Do they do the tomorrow?
So you do tomorrow. You never have to sleep about that.
To Hare Krishna.
He asked me, he told me, he asked me.
So the program in the other place is one. Saturday at 5 o'clock. Because I have to attend the conference. I'm not presenting on Saturday. Sunday present. Saturday today, I will just show. This Sunday, they are very smart now. They don't put the schedule, the time that you have to present. I don't know what you guys are doing your life. I thought that I'm going to present at 8:30. But they don't release the time, the schedule of normally, on process, they give you a schedule. And sometimes you go to the problem. So this money is and I wrote to them, and then they said that no, they want everything to there. Otherwise, they prove that people will not come, and then conference will drive. The conference is supposed to stop and at 2. So, but if push the permission, they go to once I make my presentation, because what are they doing? They're not yeah. What's her name?
Devashri Radhika Devashri Radhika.
Are you from Switzerland here?
No, Maharaj, I grew up between Calcutta and Mayapur.
Oh, really?
And then I moved to Germany to do my master's.
Master's in what?
Law, South Asian
This
Studies.
guy's my friend. Come on. Oh, really? That is why it's good to ask, to get closer and ask people, you know. So that's so nice.
And now I'm enrolled into a PhD, Maharaj.
Hey, come on.
It's a little bit neglected, I must say.
Huh?
It's a little bit neglected
When
I didn't ask it, but I guess it
because in 2020 when my Guru Maharaj left. That's the time. I was still finishing my masters at that time.
In Germany.
In Germany, in Heidelberg. And we were doing quite well. And then, yeah, and of course, the departure of First Krishna was not easy.
Sure.
So then I moved into the temple after some time, and then I started living in the temple, practicing. And then of course I could see the difference between my life before and after. And also the last instruction that I got from my Guru Maharaj was very significant one. And then, yeah, I still try, I feel many times like surround my life around it. And then when I was living in the temple, I was serving as a cook and preaching in the evening. And then I was given a break and I wrote my master's thesis in the temple and Prabhupada Museum upstairs.
Wow.
So, and then I submitted, I graduated. In the field is legal anthropology. I finished law school, I practiced as a lawyer in law school. And then after Guru Maharaj's departure, then His Holiness Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj. So he gave me a lot of shelter. He's my Shiksha Guru.
Okay.
And then of course he knew about this academic side of mine. And then he suggested that I do a PhD. And when I started my academic journey, my intention was to do a PhD. But once you start devotional service, things change. And then I considered, and I was still having a lot of doubts. I went to Radha Desh and I thought, I just live like a full-time devotee. And then I had a dream, and then I came up to Zurich. And then I decided that I will do a PhD, and I applied to the University of Berlin because someone said there's a professor who does exactly the same thing I want to do. Because I study the concept of personhood under law, how an entity becomes a legal person, and I use how deities, as case studies, how deities can be legal persons under law, and how natural resources like mountains, rivers, etc. can be a person under law. So that's my field. And I've been told it's quite relatively a new field in the sense not explored so much. There's a lot of potential. I'm decent at what I do. So Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj really encouraged me. And then, I started living in the temple. And then, as full-time devotee, but also doing my PhD on the side. But it was really on the side. But also then, a lot of services came, administration, temple commander, Tulasi service. And then, I don't know, my spiritual life is not so deep, but there's some taste in service, I feel. And then once I felt it, and then I compared to how much fallen I was. I am still fallen, but how different my life was before. Then I didn't, and especially I don't have an academic circle, especially locally there is nothing. And I didn't want to go back to that life, also like to live outside. Now I moved out of the temple, because sometimes devotees don't understand. So, and even now I'm very actively involved. And somehow it just nourishes me a lot. And in the beginning, PhD was going very steady. I was in touch with my professor. I was writing, reading, not so much, but still. But somehow I feel like I would like to finish the PhD, but I'm not giving it time.
You're not giving time?
I'm not giving it time because I'm prioritizing differently.
Why should I
I'm prioritizing service mostly. And also, ever since I moved out, it's not so easy actually in a country like Switzerland. So, maintaining a life outside is not so easy. So now I'm working, because my family was totally taking care of me, and then my father passed away. And then anyway, I as a person like to be self-sufficient. So I started working twice a day, and the rest of the days I'm in the temple doing pujari, administration, cooking services, everything. And of course, if I introspect, there are some times that I do waste. but mostly I'm very cautious with my time. Mostly, I'm doing something relating to service. And yes, then you take up time to sit and write. I feel like maybe I lost the drive for it. And now, because I have the very strong intellectual side which is there, and I know for sure that I have to be intellectually good. And then some GPC services came, so there I feel fulfilled, there I feel intellectually good. And for a long time, Krishna Shikman was checking on me, how my PhD is going. He checks on me regularly, we talk very often. He's very, very kind. And then, but and then I told him one day that it's very intense, my life right now, and I'm very happy doing service. And somehow at the point, unfortunately, that I don't see my PhD as a service. I mean, in the heart of it, I know how it is a service, and it's also a requirement in the sense that we do need scholars like the Krishna Maharaj, Sir Gandhi Maharaj, Devanand Maharaj. So many times they emphasize devotees have to be the academic people. I know I'm good at it, I have a potential, but now my priorities are just so different. And I just tell myself maybe in the future at some point, because I think it's also, I know that I like doing service, but I also know I over-engage myself. It's kind of to counteract the fear that I have that I will lose it in the sense that once you've seen how deviated you can be, and then when you come to the path or try to come to the proper path, you're just so scared that you don't fall down again. So, yeah.
So, you want me to say something?
Please.
Okay, so here's the point. I'm very demanding. I have, don't know what I told this story here, but I have my personal assistant in New York. She's a lawyer. She's a white lady. And when she approached me for that she wanted to be in a group, I said she would pay the price. And then she asked me what. So I said, go get a master's. So she said she already had a master's. I said, so I'm not mistaken, very intelligent girl. So why don't you go for a PhD? And as a lawyer, she was arguing back and forth. Not to. I said, see, no need to argue. See, get me some water in the room.
Yeah, I want to ask you what time you want.
What is the
Yes.
time now?
Now?
9.
Maybe 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah. But put some water in
Yeah,
the room. There's
and
no water. I want to drink some water.
what about lunch? Do you want lunch?
Lunch? Yes, I will take lunch before going. Yeah.
Same as usual. At 1 o'clock.
Maybe 1:30 or
Concert.
yeah. Because I'm leaving, it's Lemon said we are leaving at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought, so she was arguing back and forth, not to go to I said, you want me to be a guru, correct? She said, yes. So coming to me is like a man sees a beautiful young lady and then said, I want to marry you. So the girl gives conditions. I said, this is my condition. I don't give this condition to everybody, but you are an intelligent girl. So be different. Many people are lawyers. Be different. Go do something that could be more meaningful to yourself, to this society, and to your family. So she went ahead. She finished the PhD in 3 years. She was working and doing a PhD. And in another city, she has to drive to Delaware all the time. So my point of raising that is that I'm very demanding. And one of my concessions is that I only accept disciples who have skills. Who have skills. So you are one of those personalities in this movement. That could be very, very useful. When that girl, when she finished her PhD, she's doing now some work. She did a PhD in health law. So she's doing some work with child protection. Is helping them to do some coordination with the GPC and some labs now law firm, more specialists in child abuse and all those things. So she's helping with that. So the point, so I raised the issue with that. So if you didn't do your PhD, will you have the opportunity to do this study? No. So your skills are very important, not just to yourself, but to this movement. Yes, we need young people to go on top of their professional level, to go to the apex of their professional level. And you have potentials for academics. You're already there. The problem is that when you are in a devotional environment, you have this bombardment, either subtly or grossly, not to do anything, to just chant vibration, to just do some science. But we also need people who can sustain high preaching profile in our movement to reach out to people of high profile. Now, for the ordinary person not devoted, they can't really do anything about it. And number one female devoted, she is she's a research fellow in IT. She told me a story how in her research institute, she works with some other ladies in an office. And then one of the ladies, she's a Christian. The husband is a big time pastor. He works in church. This lady approached this devotee to teach her Bhakti Yoga without her preaching to her, without her soliciting for her, because she just sees that this person and lifestyle is completely different from every other researcher in there. So this lady was attracted to her. And that's how effortlessly she made her devotee. My point is, if you have the high profile skills, you have a better impact on people without strenuous efforts. I've seen that in my life. Most of the places that most ISKCON gurus cannot go, I go because I'm a research fellow in management science. One of my recent research, which was published in the International Journal of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, is on how chanting prevents financial fraud. And it will send that to you so that you see how you can use your skills so much to leverage society. And I mean, when I did that presentation at the World Academy of Science, Engineering and Technology in London, June 28, 2021, he received the Best Presentation Award. Because scholarship, they want something unique, something strange to them, okay? Not something that everybody else is talking about. Yeah.
Something stimulating.
Right? So I've seen that in my own life. See, I was not attracted to Calcutta. Proper to basic Calcutta. I was not attracted to Calcutta. I don't know for whatever reason. But right now, I tell you, Calcutta is my office. Mayapur is my home. I have this small temple where I was staying in Calcutta, New Alipur. That's the most expensive area in Calcutta. We have a small temple there. We have 5 scientists in that temple. 5. The president is a scientist. His wife is an ophthalmologist. The other three boys, one of them is a mathematician, a PhD. The other one is also a scientist, and then the other one is it does some science field, including together with Sanskrit. The small temple of 14 devotees, 14 of them, 14 there, 5 are PhDs. And just recently, one of them, he sent some short piece he wrote, and it was so amazingly stimulating. He was reading about some correlation things in statistics, and then he correlated that with some verses in the Bhagavad Gita. And I was just so much carried away. So people want, especially scholars, they want that uniqueness. They want something unique, something stimulating, something new. And you know, I remember I went to one conference one time, and they published my presentation in one of their journals. So when I went to collect that journal, the guy in charge, one young professor, he was begging me to contribute to their journals. So I said that, sir, there are other professors, there are other scholars. Why don't you solicit? Yes, sir, professor. He looked at me and said, what those guys say, we know. What you say, we don't know. So, your area is a very good area. It could be so useful. You could package your works in the future so uniquely, and you will stand a giant in the field. I said, I'll send that paper to you, that publication to you, and you see how this same mantra that we chant every day could be packaged in completely in a way that it becomes the best presentation I want. So, I will humbly suggest to you that you want to be my friend, you have to take your PhD very seriously. Very seriously. I know one of your godbrothers, he's doing his PhD in one university in South India, in Benares. Yeah, so he used to travel with the Guru Maharaj. He went to I remember he said he went with the Guru Maharaj to South Africa. His name is Pata. I don't remember the last part of it. Pata. He's a young brahmachari, and I think he's finishing his PhD very soon. So he was the man who decided to pursue this program. And we need young people who can sustain that intellectual spirit to be able to, spread this knowledge through their personal contacts, personal association with other professionals.